Please rise and salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning and welcome to RPtv.
Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Friday, February 21st, 2020. According to various reports, anti-Semitism continues to rise throughout the nation, and unfortunately, New Jersey is not immune. Soraya has a recent report from South Jersey.
Although we have come a long way in the fight against racism, there are some reminders here and there that still people choose not to join the progress. Anti-Semitic graffiti was found at the B&B Tent and Party Rentals with the words "White Power" written on the walls along with swastikas and other markings. Security footage showed a vehicle pulling up to the business during the closing hours and heading towards where the graffiti was found later on. A woman named Virginia Malox was identified to be the driver. Her car was seized and she was arrested and is now facing charges of criminal mischief and trespassing. During this time, observations were made spray-painted markings at the residence similar to those that were observed at the business, Captain Stephen Larkowitz said in the statement. Detectives are working to identify a second person not clearly visible in the security videos. This business was found out to be a Jewish-owned business. Unfortunately, biased crimes like this has surged in New Jersey in the past year with a record of 944 offenses reported. I'm appalled by this act of anti-Semitism. Just this week, my administration was in Lakewood working with the Orthodox Jews Chamber to address security. We will hold those behind this responsible and rise above this hate, Governor Murphy says.
In recognition of Black History Month, our focus today involves a man who represents the importance of education and the need to support and defend the rights of all people. Eli has that report.
John Hope Franklin is the dean of all 20th century African American historians. Franklin served on the faculties of his alma mater and various colleges such as St. Augustine's, the North Carolina College, Howard University, Brooklyn College, and the University of Chicago. Franklin wrote books on the history of the South on slavery, his best-known book being named From Slavery to Freedom. Franklin was active in the civil rights movement, providing historical information vital for the Brown versus Board education of Topeka, Kansas case. He marched with MLK Jr. and testified repeatedly at congressional hearings regarding racial issues. He also became President Bill Clinton's advisor on race. His greatest accomplishment was when he was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 1995.
And now it's time for announcements. Chess Club, meeting today after school in room 116. Polka Club, Black History Month celebration, Thursday, February 27th after school in the Media Center. The bowling team is celebrating the end of their season with a merchandise sale. Please see any member of the bowling team or Mr. Fucci if you are interested in purchasing a t-shirt, hoodie, or long sleeve shirt. Order forms can also be found on the school's website. Art Club and National Art Honor Society will be meeting Fridays after school in room 102 during the school year. We are working on projects and sometimes exploring new media. Join us. Also, Art Club and NAHS are collecting real or made-up recipes connecting to community, culture, or connections. These can be any size, handwritten and decorated, and will be sent to a program associated with the Bezos Family Foundation. For every recipe submitted, $3 will be donated to organizations providing food to undernourished people around the world. Please help. See Mrs. Scucho for further information and supplies. Start your day the right way. Our school offers a breakfast program available in the cafeteria starting at 7:10 a.m. Full price is $1.85 and reduces 30 cents. Breakfast has many benefits for our students. Take advantage of our breakfast program. We've got a big sports weekend. Tonight at home, the boys basketball team takes on Calvary Christian. All the action begins at 5:30. Tomorrow, the wrestling team will be competing at the district championships. And the girls basketball teams will be home against Dover High School. The first game starts at 10 a.m.
Are you interested in working behind the scenes or on stage? Then RPtv is the class for you.
If you enjoy being in the spotlight, you can be a host or a reporter. But if you're more interested in the behind the scenes type of stuff, you can do camera, sound, teleprompter, or graphics.
As you can see, Mr. Dawson and Miss Gutro's class is full of amazing opportunities and activities for anyone and everyone.
If you are interested in being in RPtv, talk to Mr. Dawson or Miss Gutro and your guidance counselor.
We hope you join our team.
The rest of the country might not believe it, but there are many reasons why New Jersey is a great place to live. Let's go to Soraya for some of the highlights.
Being a New Jersey resident is probably the biggest perk anyone could acquire, solely based on the fact that so many amazing things reside within this 8,700 square mile state. With almost 9 million people living here, you can tell New Jersey has a lot to offer. And one of the biggest reasons New Jersey attracts so many people is, of course, the Jersey Shore. New Jersey has 44 beaches, all holding its own titles, its own unique style, and a side of our famous boardwalks. In addition, within its 8.9 million population, another reason NJ is such a great place to live is how diverse it is here. New Jersey is the fourth most ethnically diverse state in the United States, and Jersey City alone is the most ethnically diverse city in the country. So no matter what, you can always meet all kinds of people everywhere you go. Lastly, which is probably the main reason anyone would come to visit, live, even spend the rest of their life in New Jersey, is of course the famous Taylor ham and pork roll sandwiches that are only made the best here in the Garden State.
Stay tuned, we will be right back. For us today. Thanks for watching RPtv. Have a great weekend and stay tuned for CNN 10.
CNN 10. I'm Carl Azus, and there are 2 points I'd like to make about Fridays. 1, they're awesome. 2, who cares? It's the last day of the work and school week, and we are thankful to be sharing it with you. Our show starts with a logo. There's a good chance you've seen this one before, whether it's stacked on a cargo ship or being hauled by a tractor trailer. Maersk is the biggest container shipping company in the world. But the Danish business says demand for shipping has decreased early this year and that it's had to cancel more than 50 trips to and from Asia. The reason? The new coronavirus that originated in Wuhan, China late last year. As the disease has spread, so has its impact, not only on people but on businesses as well, with the potential to hurt economies. Maersk estimates that factories in China are working at 50 to 60% of their capacity. This is having ripple effects around the world because so much commerce is tied into what happens with China. In the shipping industry alone, 80% of the things we use every day are carried over the ocean, and China is home to 7 of the world's 10 busiest container ports. So it's not just health officials who are concerned about this virus. The shipping industry and the businesses that depend on it are also hoping this disease would peak and that its spread would then start to slow down. Are there any signs that's happening? It's hard to say and hard to predict. China just announced on Thursday that it recorded the lowest number of daily infections that it's seen in weeks. But South Korea, which is located just a couple hundred miles from China across the Yellow Sea, has reported a spike in cases. The expanding impact is not just at sea. An international trade association says global airlines could lose a combined total of more than $29 billion because of the coronavirus outbreak. Car makers, luxury good makers, drug companies could all be hit, as well as toy manufacturers.
Big eyes, crazy hair, and those layers and layers of packaging. For whatever reason, LOL Surprise is one of the most coveted toys on the planet. But they could be harder to find this holiday season.
There's going to be a major shortage of LOL come these holidays worldwide because of the coronavirus epidemic that we have, frankly.
The coronavirus outbreak has sparked a health crisis and an economic mess as it exposes major vulnerabilities in the global supply chain for all the sectors that reach deep into China.
Numerous companies, Apple, another one, of course, impacted here.
Durham was warning that the coronavirus outbreak.
Hyundai, the South Korean car maker, says, as you said, that they are suspending production.
Retailers are also feeling the impact. Anticipating a supply slowdown, Amazon is stockpiling certain made-in-China products. In a statement, Amazon says, out of an abundance of caution, we are working with suppliers to secure additional inventory to ensure we maintain our selection for customers. LOL Surprise dolls are designed by MGA Entertainment in California and made in China. The CEO says before the outbreak, they produced 1 million dolls a day. Now they're at a standstill as China struggles to get back to work.
What people don't understand is that even if the factory is open, they are not able to get all the workers back. And then, to make matters worse, what happens is that factories need raw material.
For multinational firms, this is not the first time their Asian supply chains have been tested. In 2011, the tsunami and nuclear disaster in Japan hit the high-tech supply chain, pushing back the launch of new devices. Later that year, devastating floods in Thailand rattled both the tech and auto industries as production stalled. But the current crisis in China is different, given the unprecedented measures in place to stop the virus and the world's reliance on China as a manufacturing machine. China accounts for more than 80% of all global toy production, so could the outbreak prompt a rethink about China as the factory of the world?
People were already thinking about their supply chains as a result of the trade war between the US and China, and we're thinking about not being dependent so much on just one country, but the impact of this is much bigger than the US-China trade war. And if this goes on for a long time, then companies will have to think about relocating their supply chains.
I don't think, frankly, any company is going to be able to replace China. China is the factory of the world. We have to accept it, we have to face it. They're great at what they do, the quality, the discipline, the infrastructure, the workforce that they have. It's going to be years before somebody else can replicate it.
10-second trivia. Which of these mountains is the shortest? Mont Blanc, Denali, K2, or Mount Kilimanjaro? At less than 16,000 feet tall, Mont Blanc is the shortest on this list, but it's the tallest mountain in Europe. Mont Blanc is located in the Alps, and the Swiss part of the mountain chain is where our next story takes place, as engineers there are putting the finishing touches on a new high-speed, high-capacity railway. This is part of a project to establish better and faster rail links in the region. The mountains have always been a major obstacle to that, but the Cineri-based tunnel cuts right through them. It's 9.5 miles long. It'll join the remaining mountain section separating northern Europe and northern Italy, and it'll be a complement to the Gotthard-based tunnel, which opened in 2016. That passageway is 35 miles long. It took 2,500 people and $11 billion to build, and though they don't offer the same astounding views as the old mountain route, these tunnels are flatter and less curved, which allows heavier freight trains, and more of them, to travel through the Swiss Alps. In fact, the biggest benefit to these projects will be to freight companies who can now send more goods and commodities in less time through the Alps. And as far as travelers are concerned, the total trip time between Zurich, Switzerland and Milan, Italy will be shortened from 4 hours to 2.5 hours. From the snowy mountains of Europe to the humid jungles of Asia, we're taking you on a trip that lets people camp out with elephants. Here are the elephants. Here's where travelers would be camping. They're called jungle bubbles. They're air-conditioned pods with beds and showers, and they give you unbeatable views of the world's largest land mammals. These aren't just everyday pachyderms. Some of the elephants have been rescued from working in harsh conditions, but they're spending a relaxing retirement in a sort of elephant resort that doubles as a human one too. The price to spend the night in a bubble starts at just over $560, and you'd be in a unique and scenic part of the world. This is located in a place known as the Golden Triangle on the borders of Thailand, Laos, and Myanmar. And while there's other stuff to do besides try to sleep with elephants nearby, the animals and the efforts that go into making a better life for them are the main attraction. Start with a flying suit. Strap a wing on your back that has 4 jet engines, and you have what's being called a Jetman suit. Last weekend in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, a pilot got off the ground with one, and that's significant because previous Jetman flights have launched from helicopters and elevated platforms. The pilot eventually rose more than 4,900 feet in the air before parachuting back down. Want one? Me too. But prices of similar jet-powered wings have reportedly cost around $150,000. And that would take some serious bwing and wing up quite a tab for a wingsuit that might wing you a fascinating wing view, but who can swing all the cha-chwing just to get on the wing? You can't just wing it. You might have to wing the lottery, and it might leave you winging your hands over spend wing all your wingings like you're throwing a winging wingding. I'm Carl Azus. Shout out to our friends in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, where there's a whole lot of Vikings watching today. I don't personally pick the schools we mentioned, but for your chance, be sure to subscribe and comment on our YouTube channel. Have a great weekend from all of us at CNN.